As the clock strikes 7, the vitalize. Inner circles here, where voices thrive. Turn on your screens, let the magic unfold. Listening and healing as stories are told. Come on, come on, this is your time. No topic's too tough, just heed the calls. From mental health woes to justice we seek. Together we rise for the strong and the meek. A safe space for all, let's lift every voice. Inner Circle podcast where hearts unite. Sharing our truths, bringing hope to the light. Community strong, we're never alone. Together as one, we've created a home. With laughter and love, we break down the walls. No topics too tough, just heed the calls. From mental health woes to justice we seek. Together we rise for the strong and the meek. A safe space for all, let's lift every voice. So join the conversation, let's set the tone. In a Circle podcast where love is well known.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to another episode of the Inner Circle podcast. Today is Tuesday, November 18th, right? We are pushing to that Thanksgiving week, Thanksgiving month, Thanksgiving week next week. So, welcome to this episode. I'm your host, Abe Kumara. I'm here with my regular co-host, Peterson from the winning city of Chicago. Peterson, what's up?
Good evening, Abe. Hope you had a good weekend. It's Peterson from Chicago or outside of Chicago, here in Illinois. Welcome to the show. Another great topic to just bring awareness to our community.
Thank you. Thank you for that. And folks, you can always join the conversation, put a comment in the chat according to our number 952-594-5154. Also, follow us on Facebook, subscribe to our YouTube channel, LinkedIn, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, wherever you get your podcasts, right? As Peterson said, man, we'll bring you juicy topics, timely topics just to discuss trendy topics, trendy topics as well. So definitely join the conversation tonight. But before we get into this topic, man, Peterson, I don't know, I was reading something or I was listening to something. Say in your city, the way that happened there is like the men were doing like a military style stuff, going into people's apartments, raiding them, creating a huge fear. So I said, oh man, but it's like it was actually like a war zone, man, in your neck of the woods over there.
Yeah, it's something that we've been hearing and watching too. Like you said, is they're talking about these ICE agents or immigration agents like repelling from helicopters.
Yeah.
They they drop into a war zone, but yeah, it's just been chaotic and it just brings a lot of fear to people because people are not used to seeing those type of things in like the U.S. and then especially in like a U.S. major city to have something like that happen. So it's a lot of fear.
Yeah, the other thing that caught my attention about that story, right, is like you had how most of those, up to like 4,000 people were arrested, but the first initial, I think 600 or so, none of them actually have criminal record, according to the story, right? None of them. So this whole thing about going after hard criminals, going hardcore criminals, I think the only crime that I heard like those people might have created, some of them might have crossed the U.S. border illegally, obviously, but I mean they sought asylum, and some of them were given or granted asylum. Obviously, the new administration canceled that, but none of them had like any criminal record within the U.S. where in like police and many criminal record police interaction, right? It's like DUI, domestic violence or any of this. But none of those folks had any criminal record, which is shocking. Okay, so what is the whole thing about going after hardcore criminals, trying to get them off the streets or gang bangers?
Yeah, that was the whole facade that was put up from the beginning to say, they're coming to help solve crime. And as we say here, when they were even talking about deploying the military and then sending those federal agents to Chicago, we say out here that Chicago wasn't even in the top 10 when it
Hmm.
comes to like some of those crimes that you just listed, like homicides and arson and thefts and things like that. Chicago is not in the top 10, but uh, I think the administration, they were going after certain places that's ran by uh, certain people. So they were trying to just go after them and to come in and arrest all those people. Uh, it goes back to what some of the judges were saying, or when they asked, like, "Hey, you can go after somebody just from how they look or how they sound,
Yeah.
because if you are coming after me and you have no record of me or nothing of me, like breaking the law, then yeah, you just profiling me. That's all.
Yeah. I mean, and the sad part about like innocent folks are being caught up in this situation. Families are being kind of separated and things like that. So that just caught my eyes, but I thought I'd bring that up before getting to our topic tonight. I said, man, it caught my attention. I thought that, man, it's like, it's crazy. It's like, the fact, I said, what caught my attention is that the fact that none of them had criminal record, or even if they did, it was just very, very few. And
Yeah,
say, okay,
minor stuff. Yeah,
yeah, it's like, why are you going after them? They're just trying to make a living. They're already here, try to find a solution for them instead of you trying to, get rid of them. But,
yeah. I mean, we said it on here before, even with like the police chiefs and
mhm,
other immigration authorities and things like that. Usually, it's like majority of immigrants, even those who if you call the crime of crossing the border illegally, yes, that is a crime. But once they're here, they are law-abiding citizens because they are not coming in here to like cause chaos and go on like rampage, killing a bunch of people and stuff like that. So, but sometimes they would take the negative few headlines and just blow it up, amplify it, so that they'll say, "Oh yeah, all these immigrants, they are murderers," because why? One person went out on the limb and killed somebody, which it shouldn't happen at all. But if one out of a million commits a crime, now it's like, okay, yeah, all these immigrants, they're raping people and killing citizens and things like that. And that is far from the truth.
obviously, I mean, I can say, right, as an immigrant, and I'm sure you can attest to this. Most immigrants, like, we consider being away from our home country as being, especially in the United States, as a privilege, right? So we walk a fine line.
Hmm.
Things natural born U.S. citizen would do, right? Most of us won't
Yes.
venture do that.
Yep.
Even if we are U.S. citizens, right? We don't easy. You know what? First of all, there's always that mindset. Number one, it's a privilege for me being here. I'm grateful of, we are in November, where most immigrants, I can attest to that. I can say that for a fact that we are grateful being here, and we take it as a privilege. So I don't, and it's hard to abuse a privilege. You know what I mean? Because
Of
you know,
course.
it's not your, natural right. That is here. So it's a privilege. So because we consider being here as a privilege, we always walk that fine line. And to your point, right? There are some few bad apples, or sometimes folks make some terrible mistake, but that's just human nature.
Yep.
Someone drunk driving, or maybe like get into a domestic dispute with their partner. It's it's just natural human being. It happens to everyone, and natural born U.S. citizen does that stuff more than
Or,
more than
yep.
immigrants. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? And things like that. So the fact that you want to verify or demonize immigrants, for a few minor offenses. Now, I'm not saying some of those that join gangs or commit terrible crimes, they should be let off the hook. They should obviously suffer the consequences. But
Right.
the vast majority of immigrants consider being here, especially in the United States, as a privilege, and they
Yes.
always appreciate that.
That's true.
Yeah, yeah. So, anyway, folks, just wanted to bring that out there. I mean, immigration is a hot topic always. The whole 2025, as my man Peterson always say, we hope that that eventually, as we enter 2026, yeah, things calm down, things settle down, and the whole negative things, go away, and things like that. But man, tonight, soft life versus hard life. Which one are you living? There's a there's a trendy one. If you've been following, what's happening on social media. Folks talking about, living a soft life and things like that. So it's been trending all over. So first of all, Peterson, I'm just going to ask you right off the bat, which side are you on, soft life or hard life?
I don't I don't know what people consider soft life or
Okay,
hard
okay.
life.
Let me give you a rundown. Let me give you a
Uh,
rundown. First of all, when the whole thing came about, the way TikTok pick it up, or Instagram or Facebook pick it up, or social media pick it up, basically, right? Nigerian women, Nigerian influencers, talk about the soft care era. Talk about soft like watching, like, I mean, they are prioritizing rest, boundaries, quality, mental health, like no unnecessary stress, right? They talk about luxury, self care, like you wake up in the morning, slow morning, no rush, you know what I mean? You know, you basically like choosing peace over chaos, and things like that. So now that I have listed all of this, well, so I mean, I'm not going into. So let me just go into the the high. I mean, high life, right? It's like, damn. I mean, you grinding, you hustling. You know what I mean? It's like life is always go, go, go.
mhm.
So which one are you? Which side are you on?
Yeah, I mean, for me personally, if choosing to like wake up and be on the hustle and the grind, if that's what a lot of people consider hard life, then I personally choose the hard life because I don't like to like lay around, sit around, wake up, like how some men they'll go to the spa. I don't have anything against that. That's what they like to do, but I'm not one of those that will wake up and like, oh yeah, this month I haven't been to the spa. I haven't gotten like my facial. I haven't done any of these. No, I don't consider that soft. I consider that lazy life. But for me personally,
Okay, so first of all, let me just, well, the trendsetters of this trend, right, is like of this whole term, right, soft life. It says, first of all, soft life isn't about being lazy. It's about refusing to suffer unnecessarily. So, so, so you're already calling it lazy right off the bat. You say you call it lazy and stuff like that. But, so it's not about being lazy, right? It's about, refusing to suffer unnecessarily.
yeah,
But, but the thing though, right, is like, is this just, I mean, we live in you and I have some great segments on here. We talk about social media, we talk about the oversharing. It's just there like is this like one of those thing, right? Is the whole soft life thing? Is it one of those things where, it's all about, it just exists in our internet sphere, right? On our social media stuff. Is there really a thing as a soft life? To your point, most people, man, are grinding. Even rich people wake up in the
yeah,
morning. I mean, they wake up at 4 a.m., 5 a.m., their morning starts and they go, go, go. I mean, like typical example, Elon Musk, they say he hardly sleeps because he's running like 6 companies. So
yeah,
the whole soft life thing, is that really, is it just a like like an internet thing or social media thing? Does it
yeah.
really exist in the real world? So
I think it's one of those like when people talk about there will come a time that we will be living this euphoric life that you dream of waking up and getting a cup of coffee and then you now it's not the newspaper anymore. You I guess flip through your phone for a few hours and, and look at it, and then from there you go, you watch some TV, you get in your car, you go, you do what you want to do and things like that. But I don't consider that still like soft life. I mean, there are moments that you can choose to refresh. This is why we have. I mean, even in the corporate world, this
mhm.
is why they have like vacation time or time, even if it's just a day. I mean, for those who want to continue to live that soft life, like day to day, yeah, I cannot see myself. Maybe it's a mindset, like everything that any type of major change in your life is all about a mindset to say, okay, you have to prepare yourself and prepare your mind. Like, okay, yeah, this whole week I'm on vacation. I refuse to do anything. But at the same time, is that really like living? Is that really life? If you just wake up and you do absolutely nothing, I yeah, I cannot see
I know
myself.
what you're coming from that, right? Like, I mean, I know what you're coming from there, right? At that point, you ask yourself, what's my purpose, right? Because
Right.
everybody wake up in the morning, right? I think, personally, I think you have a purpose-driven life. What am I going to achieve today? What am I
Mhm.
working towards? What am
Yeah.
I going to accomplish? Like, I mean, everybody should have goals, right? We all
Yes.
struggle with that, but every daily, weekly, monthly, quarterly, annually, we should have goals. We have things that we want to achieve. But though, right, the thing about this whole soft life thing, I don't think it's holistic, right? All the thing they talk about, there's certain aspect of it you can choose, like the one piece of it, where like choosing peace over chaos.
Right.
That's something, right? I mean, we talk about how everyone, we had a segment where how everyone is so angry these days, right? You can
Hmm. Hmm.
intentionally choose, right, peace
Yeah.
in any situation over chaos, right? You can say, you
Yeah.
know what, I don't want to like you and I think we're from the same boat where in like if I'm on social media, I'm not into all that drama, right?
Right.
So what I'm doing
Yeah.
there is like I'm intentionally choosing peace over chaos, right?
Yeah.
I'm not going on there insulting people or posting stuff that's not necessary, right? It's like I'm kind of putting out that right vibe. So at that point, you could consider a soft diet, but the whole holistic piece where in like luxury, self-care, slow morning, the spa thing you talk about,
Hmm.
all of this stuff. Dude, it's like that to me, that's a fantasy. To your point, is like who wakes up
Yeah.
in the morning and just like nothing, you know what I mean? Especially in America, you should have something to look forward to.
Yeah. And like you said earlier, even those who um are wealthy or are rich, like you said, like Elon Musk, he doesn't have to wake up and do anything for the rest of his life.
Yeah.
But at the same time, you have to put those goals down. Like, okay, what am I going to accomplish today? What am I going to accomplish tomorrow? And if that means waking up and going to like walking in the neighborhood or doing something. When it comes to like the peace part of that, where you choose peace over chaos, yes, everybody want to be at peace. I don't think there's anybody that wakes up with that mindset like, yeah, today I just want to be chaotic. I just want to cause a lot of chaos. I'm gonna go. Anybody that says hello to me, I'm just gonna like go all out and
Explore
go.
on them, yeah.
And yes, we do live in an angry world, and the littlest thing triggers people. People are easily triggered by anything. So if you are living your soft life, but the part of what you consider soft is to say, okay, well, I just want to be at peace with everybody. Yes, everybody will want to choose that. But the extras that comes along with that, where you say like this whole like the holistic part of it, where you say, yeah, you want the peace, but then at the same time you want the luxury, you want all of this and this and this, but then you are not setting yourself up for like the other parts of it. You just like dream it, because that's why
Mhm.
you say, yeah, it seems like it's a fantasy. It's not something that is actually real, because yes, there might be people who they wake up and they have absolutely nothing to do. No, I mean, if you have no ambition to just even go and maybe turn on the TV, put on the shower and get. So I don't get it for those people who would want to just choose like the lack of a better word, the soft life. Yeah, I don't get it.
Yeah. I mean, on the other, I mean, on the other side too, right? On the other side too, and I think they're going. I think they went to the extreme here, right? Where in like the whole okay, that will come to the high life piece, where in like it's about survival mode. I don't think I think there's a middle ground that we're in survival mode, stress, struggle, no day out, working 2, 3 jobs, having to worry about your mortgage. Maybe if you have kids in college tuition, or if you have maybe like if you have kids in private school, you worry about that tuition. Like it's like just grinding and all those stuff. I think even that, right? Even that aspect of it, there's a middle ground there. I don't think it's all anyone who's. So I don't even want to say it's a high life. You know what I mean? Because most people in
That should
this
be
country,
regular life. That's normal life.
yeah, you know what I mean? Because hey, you have family responsibility, right?
Yeah.
You do have family responsibility. You have your own responsibility. You have goals. I mean, we live in a we have talked about it many, many times, on this platform, Miss B and I on our, business segment. We live in a high inflationary environment. Life is hard. I mean, the world we live in now, you go to the grocery store with a family, little things cost like $300,
Right.
$400, $500. Right? That's how much grocery is costing these days. So if you have all of those responsibility, it comes with the territory. I don't think that's necessarily high life. If you have to do three jobs to afford your lifestyle, I don't think that's high life. You got to, it is what it is, right? So you have to do it. Obviously, you have to try to find a balance, in anything that you are doing. But the fact that is just two extremes, right? High life is, it's like you pretty much struggling, you grinding, you did, XYZ, and then versus soft life, living that luxurious life. Even the rich people, that doesn't exist. There's
Yeah.
no, I mean, you don't have those two extremes.
Yeah. So I think for most people, like you talk about the two extremes, some of those are by choice. So
Mm,
if you uh, a person that you want to live up to a certain like standard because you're trying to be like the Joneses, and sometimes it comes from this like competitive nature of yeah,
yeah.
this person has this, I want to have it too, but then you don't know how that person was able to obtain whatever they have. So you go a different route and you're trying to match, and then you're choosing to like struggle because that first off, everybody is an individual and we all have our own paths. It's not just because John is driving this, he's living here, he's doing this, he's living the soft life. Then I want to live the soft life too, but you don't know how John was able to get to where he is. And now if you are choosing to live the same way, yeah, your soft life is going to turn out to be a hard life because
Mhm.
you're going to have to struggle to get to that point.
Yeah. Well, folks, tonight we are discussing one of the hottest trends on social media right now, soft life versus high life. Is that we want to know which side are you on? My man Peterson is saying, right? He loves to grind, so he's choosing he's choosing high life any day. That's what grinding is, right? That's what it takes to make it. So he's choosing high life any day, and I think I'm in the same boat. So contribute to the conversation tonight. I'll put in a comment in the chat or call our number 952-594-5154. The other thing is though, right, like to your point, I think we live in a culture right now, especially with social media, and we have said it many times, everybody trying to compare, like get, measure their life on what they see on social media, right?
Mhm.
Gosh, man, it's like my man Peterson is living in Chicago there, living a millionaire house, driving a Range Rover, and things like that. And he and his wife are always taking vacation, nice photos on these. So like I'm talking to myself, okay, why is it's like I mean that's a soft life right there, right? Maybe I want to live that same life. But to your point, I don't know what you're going through. I don't know how you're making your money. I don't know, maybe at your job you have a very good salary incentives and all those stuff that making you to afford that lifestyle. But then me on the other end want to compare myself to you. And so that's the kind of live in this comparison environment when I want to measure my life,
Mhm.
to what not even like someone that I'm seeing every day,
Right.
right? Not even someone maybe I've never even seen that person, right?
Exactly.
But that's the kind of lifestyle I want to live. And is it really? And when you actually dug behind this? Okay, is this person really living such a lifestyle? Is this person ready? Or can they, even if they live in that, can they really afford it? And do I even want to compare myself to that? Or what it is I'm aiming at? Right? What do I want to achieve in my life? What do I want out of my life? Because everyone have, to your point earlier, everyone have we are all here, but we all have different goals, we all have different mission, we all have different vision. We are all driving towards different things.
Mhm. Yeah. So for people who like to usually compare themselves with people, it's like there's this dream in their head. Now, if you are focusing on somebody else's life and whenever the person posts, like it stirs something within you, like, oh man, how this person is doing this and doing that. Now you're going to go off your path that you are traveling and you're going to get involved in something different, because like we are saying, you don't know how that person was able to get to where they are. Even if you do know the the steps that they took to get there, if you take those same steps, it's not guaranteed that you are going to end at the same destination.
Yeah.
And yeah, but many times we and social media have just amplified the whole thing, because it's always been there in society where we'll see certain people, and sometimes people look at them with envy, or they will look at them with inspiration to say, oh, I wish I can be like this person, or I wish I
Mhm.
can be like this person. But when you put that focus on that person, like I said, then you're going to go away from your mission, your journey, because now you're going to try to mimic what somebody else is did, so that you can live that same lifestyle. And we are all different.
I mean, one of the things too, right? Yeah, I mean, that's a great point. But one of the things, like, why this started trending in the first place?
Mhm.
Obviously, I said right now we live in a very very chaotic world, right? I mean, high inflation, cost of living, layoffs everywhere around the world, right? There seems to be like a mental health crisis. Everywhere you turn, there seems to be some kind of a crisis going on. And it seems like right, people are so tired, right? So they are looking for something to hook up on, right? Like
Mhm.
physically, financially, emotionally. Folks are tired. You know what I mean? So they are looking for things to hook up on, right? So now it comes like, and the world feels so heavier. So folks now come to what? I mean, to this point where in like, oh gosh, there should be such a thing as well, a soft life. But not because we live in a world that feels so chaotic, that everything feels so burdensome, right? Like high inflation, cost of living, mental health, and everything else, right? And things like that. That we should create this fantasy about soft life, and hard life, because it just doesn't exist, right? It's like pretty much to me setting yourself up for failure,
Yeah.
because I mean you waking up in the morning to your point either without anything to look forward to. Like I heard a story today. I mean, there's this guy, there was a story in the Wall Street Journal. This guy kind of did a study about, he wanted to know who are all those that have been working at their jobs for the longest, right? You know what I mean? And he went around, he saw a lady that worked at Target in Denver. She's been there since 1977, right? She's still working. She still works there, right? And when they asked her,
48 years.
yeah, that's it, right? Why haven't you retired? She said, "It's like if I retire, I'm gonna be staring at a brick wall every day. You know what I mean? I don't want to do that, right? It's like I come into, it's like I come here, I come into the store here and work. I interact with people. I feel like it's fulfilling."
Mhm.
And I was like, wow, most of even those that are retired, right? I mean, when I go to my local gym, right, you see these old folks. It's like this. That's how it's like they are trying to keep over activity. So the
Yeah.
whole idea of a stuff like someone wake up, maybe they go to a spa and things like that. Yeah, I mean, it's like it's boring, Peterson.
It sure is. But like you were saying, people sometimes, like what we said last week when we're talking about Veterans Day, when it comes to like even people who choose like military life and they make it out of a career because it's fulfilling for them. This is what, and everybody else would be like, why would you want to like be in the military that long after your first contract? Some of you will get the benefits. Why did you choose? Because these are things that people is fulfilling for them. So if somebody is working at a place for 40 years, after the first 10, 15, 30, 40 years, 50 years, and they still find either joy going
Boring.
there, then by that point, it's like it's by choice. So when we're talking about the soft life versus hard life, and I said it earlier, it's all by choice. Yes, everybody wants this like peace. When you talk about peace of mind, and sometimes they talk about prioritize yourself
Self
and
care, yeah, self care.
yeah, self care and peace. Yeah, everybody will want that to say, oh, okay, if you're going on a plane, book a first class ticket. Well, Yeah, if I can afford to book a first class ticket, I would any day. But at the same time, if I'm traveling with somebody and I see people sitting in first class, I don't know how they were able to afford that first class ticket. But now,
Mhm.
if I want to say, you know what, I got to work harder so that I can be able to afford that first class ticket, then you are choosing because it's what you want to do.
Yeah.
It's what you want. You want that soft life, so you have to work hard for it. But uh, most people, I think they are working towards this like soft life. And when we talk about soft life, I'm not talking about like the part of like the spas and waking up and doing nothing, but to have this to be comfortable where you are at peace. And like I said, you choose self-care and people would say, yeah, you choose self-care without apologies. That means you're not like I'm not feeling bad about like giving myself a treat
Mhm, mhm,
and stuff
mhm,
like
mhm.
that. But if you work for it, then yeah, you can have that any day.
Here's what I think, right? Here's what I think, I mean, if you try to balance this out, here's what I think. I mean, maybe in my world, here's what I think a soft life would be, right? With my family. You work, I mean, we all have vacation time, right? What is 80 hours vacation and things like that, right? I think you should be intentional about certain things you do with your family, right? Taking them out on vacation, right? And sometimes just, it's like after working hard, I mean, to your point earlier, treating yourself. It's not like maybe going crazy with that, you
Hmm.
know. And then also, it's like, find like-minded people that maybe like you guys can do things together, hang out together, just laugh and joke, right? It shouldn't even be, I mean, when it comes to stuff like it shouldn't even be about money or luxury because that would be defeating the point, right? I mean, obviously, yeah, you talk about it. I mean, the social media version is right. Definitely, the whole fantasy version that is traveling, luxury, candle, spa days, beach days and stuff like that. Too, if you are just doing all that, except maybe when maybe you inherited something and your parents have a huge investment for you, and all you want to do is travel around the world. You don't have to worry about anything. Your bank
Right.
account is loaded, what I mean, and things like that. That stuff is flowing out. I mean, it's flowing like a water, continuously. But it's like you, I think you would just be bored out of your mind, just by what it is like the whole social media version of the young person wakes up, maybe like, hey, I'm traveling, or I'm going on the beach, I'm doing X, Y, and Z, I'm going to the mall to shopping. Really? You know what I mean? It's like if that's what you're doing, I'm asking myself, is that is that all you do? What are you getting out of that?
Yeah. So, like you said, in my mind too, what I would consider soft life, like you said, is after you work, then you spend the time with your family, or if you have a partner or a spouse or somebody, the person you like treat them. You say, oh, you know what? Go go to the Coach store, go to Macy's, or you take a trip to Paris. You say, yeah, go to the Louis Vuitton store and buy whatever you want, and you don't have to worry about, okay, am I going to be able to afford it? Now that's what I would consider a soft life. And those things you are also choosing to do, because if you have all this vacation time, like some of us, especially the immigrant population, this is
Mm-hmm.
something that we have to be intentional about. Like you
Yep.
you said, where we learn like many years. I've been working for many many years. I usually lose out on those vacation times, because by the time you look up, oh, it's summertime already. And
Mm-hmm.
summertime, the kids are out of school and things like that. But then to say, okay, I'm going to travel here, going to travel, going to travel, going to travel. We don't take that time, and we just say, yeah, I'm spending time with the family because I'm home, so I'm spending time with them. But that's not all there is. So, and there's a reason that the companies give you this vacation time. And we're not saying like every time you have a vacation, go out of the country or go somewhere, but just to spend time with people that you love, and don't, not to say don't think about work, but at the same time, your focus should be on something different. Like, okay, I'm going to use this time to refresh. Yeah, that can be considered a soft life where every few months you take a couple of days plus a weekend and you go somewhere and you just relax. That's considered
Mhm.
a soft life. But where in somebody wants it to be like a daily thing every single day, yeah, you'll be bored because we are, I don't think as humans we are wired that way where you just like, yeah, even princes, people who are royalty, they don't just wake up. They have people pampering them, people that do everything for them, but at the same time you have to get up and do things for yourself.
Couple of things right there. You just drop a great gem. Let me just call that out, right? Like the longest serving royal, I mean the longest royal in the world, right? The queen, the king of England, right? I mean the royal family of England. Those folks, they are working royals,
Yep.
meaning they have charities that they wake up, you know, what I mean that they go to. They have some of them even serving in military,
Yep.
right? I mean these are folks born into wealth, right? As I mean, you're born into wealth. You don't even have, if you don't want to work for the rest of it, like, you don't have to. But they are all working royals, meaning, you know what I mean. They have to actually do something,
Hmm.
you know what I mean, for that title, right, and things like that. So you just dropped a great gem right there. Like, no, I mean, is that because waking up and not having anything to do, I just don't see is like, you know what I mean. So I mean, to your point, it's so boring, and I think for personally, it would drive me crazy. It will actually, yeah, it would drive me crazy without looking forward to anything to do, right? It
Yep.
will, I'll feel sick, I'll feel bored, and you know, it's like I'll just be like, gosh, you know what? I mean, what can I do, and things like that. But then the other thing you brought up, right, about the whole traveling stuff, right? Like we have said, like I think Miss B and I have said many times on this platform, man, like I say, you don't have to go out of the country to enjoy. I mean, or you don't even have to go out of state. There's even like within Illinois there, I would bet where there's so many great places to visit locally,
Yep.
right? Like a cabin, you know, like a maybe like a farm or something. Right? So many great places. Where locally, there's so many that could be like a luxury hotel, like a luxury town or historic town. You and your family can visit for the weekend. I mean, you guys can go to a lake, you know, for a weekend, things like that. And the thing about America is so beautiful, right? Sometimes you just take that time with your family. You know, you have to sacrifice for those things. To me, I would say that's soft life, right? Because
Yep.
you are taking that time with your family to just go and relax, as you said. Because you have to get sometimes you have to get away from your environment at times. If
Yeah.
you just because most of us immigrants, the point you brought up, most of our immigrants we just work, 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 and
Work.
then the time we have off we go to birthday parties, baby showers, or go to the same old clubs, you know what I mean, things like that. I tell people all the time, change the scenery. The reason why people say America is so boring, America is so boring. I said the reason why you think America is boring because it's let's assume I'm in Minnesota. The only place I've ever been is Minnesota, right? I'm interacting with the same people every day. I'm going to work, coming home, interacting with the same people every day. I'm not changing my scenery. But once you change your scenery, because even I tell people, I say even when you encounter Liberians in like Illinois or in Iowa or in Pennsylvania or in Texas or in Georgia, it's different. It's different vibe. It's different environment. You know what I mean? And things like that. Things you guys are things we might be doing in Minnesota here or things you guys are doing in Illinois, it's different.
Yep.
So even when you encounter Liberians in these areas or you encounter other immigrants in these areas, it's different. It's a different vibe. Once you are doing that regularly, I can tell you, America will not be so boring to you, man.
It sure won because a lot of the people who uh, do what you're just describing, these are people who consider when somebody say, "Oh, I'm traveling" or "I travel," they just consider traveling out of the country. That's what you call traveling. So
Mhm.
if you go to an international destination or once you leave the continental US, then you say, "Yeah, I travel, I travel." But like you said, traveling doesn't. You don't have to buy plane ticket to consider going somewhere traveling. You can get in a car, you can take train. This is like this is not Liberia. I'm not down talking my country where the only train that used to be we say normal days before the war was the passenger train from Yekepa that would go to Buchanan, and that was the only other mode of transportation if you don't drive somewhere. But like you said, each place is so unique in this country that if you just Google what's this city, even if it's a small town, what is this town known for? They will have something that will come out. You'll be like, wow, that is interesting. So earlier this year, I was seeing a little place in Texas. It's
Hmm.
Tyler, Texas. And
Yeah.
I flew into Dallas and then took another plane to Tyler. And I
Yeah.
was in there. I'm like, what's there to see in this like little place? And I was surprised. They said this is like the rose capital of the world. I'm like, of the whole world? Like the rose, like that's where roses like came
Yeah.
from and
Yeah.
stuff like that. So they have this like huge flower blooming almost like party
Hmm.
a certain time of the year where people come from all over the world just to watch like and take pictures because it's a beautiful thing. So it doesn't matter where you go, you can find things to do and travel. And like we are saying, if you choose this to say, okay, I'm going to travel, I'm going to prioritize myself and my family and my loved ones to say, okay, uh, this weekend or one weekend out of every 3 months. And like we're saying, it doesn't have to be a daily thing to say, oh yeah, this person is living a soft life. If you travel 3, 4 times in a year and you post, somebody's going to be like, wow, you're living a soft life because
Yeah.
you're living a soft life. And
Yeah.
that's why we will consider a soft life because you are taking that time to focus on yourself and your loved ones. So I have a colleague from Germany that I used
Hmm.
to work with.
Hmm.
And every year, his wife, and their little daughter, they would plan like several trips
Mm.
all over the world. And
Wow.
whenever he and I talk, I'm like, what's that? He's like, oh yeah, next month we're going to Cape Verde, and then after that we'll be in Australia. Like 2 months later, then from there we'll be in South Africa, and then we'll go to the US, and then
Yeah.
and they plan like you said earlier. He's intentional about these things, so
Yeah.
he plans far ahead. And like I always tell people, it doesn't matter where you want to go in the US. Yes, we live in an era where everything is expensive. But if you
Mhm.
buy, if you search for a ticket to anywhere in the continental US, I'm not talking about like Hawaii or
Mhm.
like Alaska, but anywhere within the continental US, if you search for a ticket a month to 3 months ahead, you're not going to spend more than $500
Yeah.
on the
Yeah.
ticket.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah. Yeah.
these are things that we have to be intentional about. Like we're saying, especially those of us from the immigrant background, we just want to work, 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 work. So this is why I said, yeah, if working is choosing the hard life, then I personally want to choose the hard life. It doesn't mean that, oh yeah, I just want to be working every single day and things like that. But there has to be time that you will spend on yourself.
Yeah. I mean, as with everything in life, right? To me, obviously, right, the famous people have said, right, the definition of success is balance. As with everything in life, there has to be some balance, right? If you do, that's what I said, the whole soft life versus hard life thing, I think it's an online phenomenon, it's an online fantasy because you don't have those two extremes, right? There's no way you can have those two extremes. Because everything in life has to be balanced. If you are just working, I mean, 365 days or 366 days around a year, and not putting and not taking any time off, not being intentional about taking time off. So just maybe, like travel to a cabin locally, or maybe go to a family member, out of state. If you're not doing any of those, to me, it's like, okay, you. I think you're making life harder for yourself, right? Mentally, physically, because the body sometimes just need that that rest, right? The body needs that, so I think you have to be intentional about certain things, right? You have to be intentional. Okay, Jim Sunday is saying here most people are surviving the high life because they are living above their income.
Yep.
you know and
Yeah.
they are saying, and what they are saying there, that it's a soft life, right? Is that soft life, and things like that, right? It's like you live, and that even you might be right living above your income, that you might be telling yourself, so, oh gosh, I'm living a soft life, but the mental pressure that comes with that, the financial pressure that comes with that, right, is like is draining.
It is. And like she rightly said, a lot of people, like I said earlier, there's all about this competition and comparison where you say, oh, okay, this person is living in a four-bedroom house. I want to live in a four-bedroom house. But at the same time, your income cannot afford you that four-bedroom house. So what do? You go ahead and get a second job so that you can be able to afford that four-bedroom house. But in so doing, you are choosing hard life for yourself because, like, when we introduced the topic, I was saying this is all about our mindset. And yes, those who choose the soft life, they say, yeah, you reject challenges, you want to be stress free, and that should be the goal of everybody. Like, I want to live a stress free life. I want to be at peace. But then where they're saying versus those who choose the hard life, they deliberately choose like challenging activities. So I'm like, I don't know. There is like two extremes. Somebody, one person is rejecting like the stress, and then another person is choosing like the stress. So they say, okay, yeah, the person who's choosing the stress, that's hard life. But a lot of these are things of our own making. Like Jim Seller just said, people who are living above their income level or above their means, they are deliberately choosing to like struggle because uh like people say cut your coat according to your measurement. If you can reach here but you're trying to get up here already, there's a gap over there that you have to get over.
The other thing though, right? Maybe I hope I don't get in trouble saying this, right? But is this sort of like the is it a female thing? Because for me, I mean, is it a because hey, I'm just gonna throw that out there, right? Because I mean, to your point, right? If any dude that does, I mean, I say, oh yeah, soft light where you wake up, go to the spa, maybe that's when you go to the gym, right? You want to look good, you weight lift, you come, do whatever, and go to the spa, go to the mall, do it's like in our community, they will consider you a pimp and lazy, right? It's like, dude, that's being freaking lazy, right? It's like, hey,
Yes.
man, a man's supposed to wake up in the morning, go to work,
Yeah. Yeah.
to earn. So if you just say, hey, it's like maybe, I mean, you have some dudes that are working like 4 hours, come on, it's like, dude, really? If you should be whatever it is, right? If to me, if a female is earning more than what I'm earning, personally it bothers me, right?
Yeah.
Because it's like I feel like, man, you know what I mean, I should be, maybe I should step up my game, right? I should step up my A game. I should be earning more. Not, it's nothing against her, right? Nothing against her abilities or anything like that, but just as a man, right? Because I should be able to provide for my family.
I completely agree with that. uh like I tell like some associates and acquaintances or people that I
Mhm.
know, I'm like, as the man, we should have this mentality like, yes, if you are married or if you have a family, you have a partner or a spouse and you have a family, we should have this mentality like, I'm supposed to be providing 100%
Mhm.
to take care of this family. Now, if the wife chooses to work, and majority of them do choose to
Yep.
work, so if she chooses to work, then that's just a plus. But
Yep.
you can be sitting like at home, and then the woman is doing 12-hour shifts, and then you go, you do your little 4 hours, and then you say, well, yeah, I'm gonna go do dash for a couple of hours, and then come sit down and stuff like that. So that's why earlier I said, when you say you think this is mostly geared towards like females, that's why I said earlier, I'm like, yeah, if you are grinding, you're working, and then you tell your spouse like, yeah, go to this store, go to that, because that's how I would look at it, to give your wife or your partner like the soft life so that they don't have to struggle like how you are. But as the man, yeah, you're supposed to be on that grind. Now, it doesn't mean you take on like 4 or 5 jobs or 2 or 3 jobs. No, but make sure that you are the one hustling so that the wife does not, whether you have children or not, so that she doesn't have to like basically compete with you. And to what you just said, if a woman is making more, it will bother you. It doesn't mean that you have been I don't know what would be the term, people who's like, yeah, a woman's not supposed to make this much or that much. No, it just means like, yeah, it should be a motivation to inspire you to push you even
Yep.
harder. Like,
Yep.
okay, yeah, if she's making this, it doesn't mean hers is not important, but at the same time, this is like my priority. That's what I'm supposed to be doing to take care of her. Now we live in a society where a lot of women do compete with men, and they're like, yeah, if I don't need a man to take care of me. No, that's not what we're saying. Like, for somebody to take care of you, but to be able to just grind. So, we were at this store a few days ago, and my daughter, she's 6. She's one of those that whatever she sees, she says as it is.
Yeah.
So she saw this guy, and he had painted his nails, and he was in the store, and she she just blurted out like, "Boys are not supposed to do their nails." I'm like, "Oh boy,
Yeah.
she's gonna get me in trouble." Like, boys are not supposed to paint their nails, and he's like, "Yeah, but I paint my nails." And then she usually does that with people. If she see piercings, like,
Yeah.
you're supposed to pierce your nose, you're not supposed to do this, and
Yeah. Yeah.
things
Yeah.
like that.
Yeah.
So these are things that even the kids, they will grow up thinking like, okay, well, what is this soft life? Which, as we're saying here, it just means people are being like lazy. As a man, if you wake up and you don't have the ambition to do anything at all, yeah, I wouldn't consider that a soft life. You a bum.
Okay, folks. You didn't hear it from me, you hear it from my man Peterson. You know what I mean? So, what tonight is soft life versus hard life. Which one are you living? Hopefully you are choosing balance. You are not living either. You are choosing a life of balance
Yeah,
and
yeah,
things like that. Because that's what success is, right? But the other thing, man, Peterson, is like the whole. I think what is whole this soft life. The trend that is online there is creating soft life versus hard. Is like it's just the financial pressure, right? It's exposing people who really like because I mean, as I've said many times on the show, man, it's like life is so expensive these days,
yes,
right? And we live in a high inflationary environment, and sometimes you have people drowning in bills, racking up credit cards, just like, oh yeah, I can afford it. Especially our females, I can afford this Gucci bag, I can afford this, Prada, I can do this, I can do that. It's like so you have so many people drowning in bills, and sometimes like it's like and once they are going down that rabbit hole, it's hard to stop because guess what? You are projecting a lifestyle out there
hmm,
that is, I mean, quite frankly, it's hard to maintain,
yeah,
right? It's hard to maintain. And then once you hold yourself at that level, sometimes to even let go is hard, especially the culture we're living right now. Once you set certain standard, sometimes like people are going because I mean we live in a clickbait environment, right? Miss B and I talking about that yesterday, where you like now you want folks to be checking you out online. You want
yeah,
folks to be checking out, man. I mean, what is Peterson up to, right? What is Peterson up to today? Or what is Peterson, and things like that, right? So that's and it just keep going down that rabbit hole
yeah,
where what I mean, like there's no boundaries anymore.
yeah. So it's like you said, once you start this life, especially the social media life. So
Mhm.
people who are on social media, if you make one video and uh, 1,000 people watch it, then you say, okay, I'm gonna make a video so 2,000 people can watch, and then spend more time and you bringing more things into it, and 2,000 people watch. And once you make that first video that goes viral, now the pressure is on you to continue to to go viral. So people will start to do all type of things. So like the life that people project on social media, sometimes this is why almost every week you will hear or you will read in the papers or you will read an article about an influencer that either like died unfortunately or something
Mhm.
happened to them. It's not uh sometimes it can be due to accident, but the pressure of just trying to stay I guess, relevant, because
Yeah.
a lot
Yeah.
of them, they are seeking approval from people. Because if I post every single picture that I take every day, I wake up, I get dressed. If I'm going to the store, I post a picture, and then people like, and then tomorrow I post, and then I only get a few like, oh well, what's going on? And then I go into this depressive mode, like, uh, I mean, people don't like me, because you're living your life for other people now. You're living your life for the approval of the masses from social media. So it, this whole thing about soft life, for it to be a trend on social media, because uh, even the person who started, or the people that started, is probably not even what they
But
even
yeah, that's
that's
not the life they are living, right?
not the life
It's
they're
like they created a trend or created a
living.
phenomenon. Maybe I mean, and when you actually look, when you dig further behind it, right, they're actually profiting from it. Because
Yes.
now, oh, yeah, you know what I mean? So, right, they're actually profiting from it, right? Because hey, we live in a transactional world right now. We live in a transactional environment. Everything people do, right, they want something in return.
Mhm.
Nothing is just like, so I mean, to your point, they are probably profiting from it because everyone has picked up on it. Oh yeah, there's this soft life versus high life. Your soft life is how you have to live it X, Y, and Z, right? Which is, you know, does it really exist? No.
Yeah,
But I
I mean, who came up with that formula? Like, yeah, this is what a soft life formula is, and then this is what a hard life formula is.
Well, that's the online world we live in. But as we try to wrap this up, right? I mean, we are quick here, right? It's like let us consider the female dynamic, especially in our culture, in our environment, in our society, right? Where like you have some, you know, it's a female that projecting the soft life, but it is being financed by we men in most relationships, right? you know, your girl get up, it's like she whatever is like she chooses, right? She say, I want to do X, Y, and Z. But then, I mean, you have some men out there, some dudes out there laboring, right? Just to make sure she's traveling regularly, she's buying the latest stuff, and you there working your butt off just to make sure she have that stuff. Like, to me, that's a disconnect there, though, right? I know you said
Yeah,
earlier, hey, as is my response, it's our responsibility as men to make our ladies feel good. But where do you draw the line? Where in that when maybe I feel like when you guys are making good, right, should be an investment. You're working towards goal, doing things, right, and things like that. Obviously, there should be treatment here and there, but you guys should be working towards goals. But we're in like it's just to satisfy the online folks, and you the man there, right, laboring yourself, working your butt off. Just to make sure your lady is posting day in and day out to
yeah.
satisfy the online community.
No, so it's like you said earlier about a balance. So if you are the one just grinding or working, and your partner is doing all she's living the soft life, that, I mean, the right person for you would say, okay, yes, you doing all this hard work, you living this hard life so that I can I can live the soft life. But what I would want is for us to be comfortable together, or live this soft life together, wherein we can take more trips together, we can do things together, instead of you just finance. Because like you said, most times is the females that are projecting this life because they want to live certain life, and it's being financed by by majority of the men out there, where they're just on the grind and supporting this bad habit. Now, where if the person is doing what they say like retail therapy, where they go to the store and they just buy unnecessary things, and but like I said, the right person, they will say yes. You give me the funds, or you give me the money to like spend it on myself. Yes, I would spend some, but at the same time, I would save, like you said, to invest in the future, where you can both then have that comfortable life, and be and have that freedom to spend more time together.
Yeah, yeah. Well, folks, this is a 1 hour show and we have a hard stop there. So we'll be wrapping this up. But man, it's been a great segment. I mean, times go by very fast. It's always a great segment here. And then as I said, this is a trending phenomenon. We decided to great awareness, about it. Hopefully, you are living a balanced life. You are not choosing either side of the coin, right? The high life or the soft life. We encourage you here, right, to live a balanced life. Why, however you choose, right, to live that balanced life within your budget, within with your emotional well-being, your mental well-being, and holistically balance it out. Don't choose the two extremes. But Peterson, man, your last word for the folks out there as we wrap this thing up. What's the message you want to leave out there tonight?
Yeah, it's been a great short 1 hour. It seemed like it went by so fast. And
Mm,
so Jim set up for the comments and things like that. But as Ivy just said, when we talk about soft life versus hard life, I don't think anybody would choose to struggle. But a lot of the things that we do that's considered living the hard life, we are choosing to do those things. So if you choose to live above your means, and on the other side, they say to live a soft life, you should reject like stress. You should always like prioritize your self-care and things like that. Yeah, those are things that anybody would want to do, and you have to be intentional and set time aside for those. uh, just because you are hustling, because they said the term hustle is like for those who live the hard life because they want to always be hustling and things like that. But I don't take it as a negative thing. I think it's something that you can use to say, okay, I want to hustle so that I can be able to live a more balanced, comfortable life. And then I guess for some people, they'll consider that the soft life. So just choose yourself, choose prioritize yourself, prioritize your well-being. And we're not talking about like every day or every week, but set time aside for yourself and to just refresh and then get back to the hard life so that you can live that soft life and just have a balance.
yeah, definitely, man. I do agree with you, man. And I would say, right, not everything you see online. My closing point I want to throw out there tonight. Not everything you see online you should just say, hey, yeah, that's a real life. Take over a grain of salt, right?
Yeah.
Take everything you see online over a grain of salt. Especially right now, we live in an AI environment. Some things that might be AI generated, you think is real. AI stuff not becoming real, right? Except Peterson and I AI every Tuesday will come in. This is a real human being talking to you, right? And then the other thing too, right? Is like some people who are projecting a kind of a lifestyle on Instagram or TikTok or whatever, right? They are fighting demons that you don't even know, right? But they are pretending that they are living a soft life.
Yep.
On Instagram, on TikTok, on Snapchat. Like take over a grain of salt. They might be fighting a demon. You don't even know what's going on with them. Don't Not everything you see online that you say, God, that's real, and stuff like that. No, take over a grain of salt and try to, live a life of purpose, whatever your purpose is. So, but it's been a great segment tonight, Peterson. Man, as always, man, I always enjoy my Tuesday with you. We bring these great topics, awareness. And folks, we're not trying to criticize anyone, right? You choose these, I think we see these trend, out there. We just want to, show caution out there, right? Live your life, don't follow the crowd. I mean, to me, I like to say, I like to follow crowd. I like to do my own thing,
Yep.
follow my own path and whatever it leads me, right? That's what I do. But it's been a great segment tonight, man. Folks, thank you so much for joining us. And Peterson, man, I will see you back here, same time, same day, Tuesday, folks. I mean, I thank you every day for joining me, bro.
Uh,
Anyway, folks, you all have a good night. Thank you and good night.
In a circle podcast where